We ask for guidance from the universal spirit creator, our angels and our spirit guides, to move from soul to subconscious, from subconscious to conscious being, to higher self. We request protected conduit to the realm of the highest good, aligned only to light, so that we may raise our frequencies for the good of all beings, and so that we may step back to see and to be. We do request 100% connection to source and 100% gold cord connection at heart chakra. With thanks, humility, grace, and love, so mote it be. Welcome to the Infinite Dance. This is an episode about the lunar eclipse that's happening today, this evening, and the full moon in Pisces. And I am calling this episode Revisiting the Past for the Ultimate Reset. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been getting all kinds of past memories coming up. And it's not just like reliving the situation or what happened necessarily. It's focusing more on how I was feeling at the time and how a certain situation made me feel, and applying that to now and feeling a sense of inspiration and joy from those situations. Particularly, mine have been around music. I've been into music my whole life and studied it and played it in various incarnations, and taken myself to many a show, and it's just one of my happy places. So that's been coming up a lot for me. But before we get into the lunar eclipse in Pisces, let's go ahead and take a moment of silence. We're going to take a moment of silence for those that are oppressed and those that are going through massive disasters right now. So there have been fire disaster here in Reno, Nevada, where I am. People have evacuated, lost their homes. Whole huge structures, like storage structures, have burnt completely down, and it looks like a scary wasteland. So also the floods in Nepal. Oh my God, another like, is this it's just surreal looking when you see the footage, and I know everybody's seen the footage. So besides those that are oppressed, Palestine, Congo, Iran, Cuba, Lebanon, Sudan, we're also going to hold space for those that have lost or been traumatized by these disasters that have occurred. So let's go ahead and take that moment of silence for all of those. Thank you so much for doing that. We are so much better together. We are so much better together. So thank you. Want to talk about this week. This week has been a lot, and we've had a lot of deaths in the celebrity arena. So Dolly Parton passed. Rest in peace. Tim Curry passed. Rest in peace. Both at 80. Yayoi Kusama passed. She was an artist. She was famously known for her dots and her infinity mirror room, and her big red bob that she would always wear. Super bright energy. I think she was like 96. She was quite a bit older. And also, so usually these happen in threes, right? But this week there was a fourth. There was the gentleman, and I am super forgetting his name. He voiced the Transformers in the Transformer movie. So he passed away too. So here we got a lot of deaths happening that affected a lot of people because, excuse me, a lot of, Dolly Parton's music and soul touched so many of us. And same with Tim Curry and Yayoi. These were people that brought immense joy in their art form, through the music, through visual, through stage, and just how they were as humans really inspired so many. So rest in peace to all of those, Dolly, Tim, and Yayoi, and the gentleman that voiced the Transformers. So this lunar eclipse, besides all these folks passing and sad and the natural disasters that are going on, natural and unnatural. I mean, they're happening in our natural world, but the fires here were started by a person. So we can't call that a natural disaster. But this lunar eclipse energy, personally, so we're going to take it and we're going to turn it inward. Okay, so how you're navigating things right now within you, your own personal day to day. Okay. How you wake up, how you go to bed, how you are throughout your day. Feels like a big exhale compared to that solar eclipse that we had. I am definitely feeling a sense of ease and coming into. And so I know when that happens, we really have to let go of a lot that has been holding us back or just is not serving us to do the things that we need to be doing. Um, so I kind of liken the solar eclipse as, where had you planted seeds? Okay. So if we think of a garden, where did you plant seeds for? And the lunar eclipse energy is more about gathering the crop and clearing the field. And I wrote, abso-freaking-lutely. Like, it's so that. What did you put in place that you're like, this is where I need to go, right? With my health, with my career, with my personal life, whatever it is. These are the things I need to embrace more. And we're resetting how we do this life all the way back to a first time. So think about whatever affects you in your life, whatever has been a prominent thing in your life. So for me, music, right? So I'm being brought back to the first time I saw a certain singer or a certain band. Where was I? How did I feel? Was I on a date? Was I with some friends? Did I meet somebody, that I had a crush on? All of those things. And it's brought back this sense of curiosity for me and lightness and joy in the feeling of it all, right? I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area in the 80s, and this is mainly the 80s, early 90s, when this started to take place, and I started to see live music. And I'm being thwarted back to this time of experimentation. There were so many bands in the Bay Area, and there were so many venues you could get into as a young person. And so, I was like 17, 18, going to these shows. one in particular that I like to go to, anybody out there from the Bay back in those days, because this is not there anymore, but there was a club called the Omni in Oakland, and I would have a minor stamp on one hand and a cup of beer in the other. I mean, they just really didn't care, especially if you were a girl, or breathing for that matter. You know, it was such a different time. But they did the due diligence. She's a minor. She's got the stamp on her hand, right? But I got to experience so many different styles of music and people doing things that I could never even have thought of or thought that I would want to see. And I think the thing that kept me coming back, right, with all this experimentation was the sense of freedom of I'm going to really explore this. I mean, there was definitely this thrash metal, punk rock, avant-garde, um, feeling, vibe to it all. And I couldn't get enough. I absolutely couldn't get enough. Even when I was like, I don't know about what was that just happened, because there was many a moment like that. And especially as a young person and not seeing anything like that ever. Um, and half of the things that happened, I'm pretty sure could not be done today at all. Um, not in that way it was done, you know. It was such a different time. But the music and the way the music made me feel, alive and explorative and again curious about myself and those around me. So that has been my experience with this. Um, First, going back to a first time with the energy of this lunar eclipse, right? Because we're revisiting um, to ultimately reset, like I'm calling this, because we're allowing ourselves to feel. Thank you, Pisces, right? Pisces is really helping us get into how did it make us feel, right? Um, and can we apply that now or transmute it now, right? Because there could be something that's hard that you're revisiting, right? But when you're in a safe space, you're not in the trauma. You can actually step back to transmute it differently than when you're within it. So this is the opportunity. I also wrote down the first kiss could be something that came through, the first wanting or needing, and how that feels within you, how an event made you feel curious or inspired. And I know I talked to you about that with my own. Um, Now, it could be a tougher thing, but because we have the Pisces, this full moon is in Pisces, and currently, since 1846, Pisces has been ruled by Neptune. And Neptune influences our imagination, intuition, creativity, and spiritual sensitivity. Which it does feel there's something dreamy going back to being a kid and experiencing first, you know, like, oh, it was so wonderful, you know. Um, there was a heightened feeling that you just can't get outside of a first experience. So that's what's coming through. Now, with that kind of magical, dreamlike feeling we get with Neptune, we have a chance too to be more empathetic with ourselves and those around us and artistic inspirations will be coming through, and in a tendency to explore emotional and symbolic patterns. Okay, this is good, right? Again, if something tough is coming up, then you can start to go, hey, why am I experiencing this pattern over and over again? I'm having the same conversations, but with a different person. And I don't like these conversations to continue to go on so much. So stepping into that and collectively. So we've got that energy going on right in the sky with Pisces and Neptune. But we've also got in our world, in our physical world, we are coming into seeing more things for exactly how they are, and they always have been. But we accepted them as they were, even if it was not to our highest benefit or something amoral, right? You're like, that doesn't seem like something I would want to go towards or be near, or that's not how I think. But for some reason, we accepted those things. And all of that's being unmasked right now. And we're able to go, wait a minute, I'm looking at this now going, how did I even, what? How did I take that on or accept that in my life? So we get a chance to explore it and explore our own shadow more thoroughly. And the last episode goes more into exploring shadow and pattern recognition. So if you want to delve into more into that, I do go into steps of not necessarily how to, but here's how to navigate a little bit. Give you a little bit of a guidance with the navigating all of that. But the reason I'm getting that we all might be having a little more ease around these pattern recognition, past experiences, reliving, some memories, and the good memories, right? So this gives us hope, number one, to relive those and go, oh yeah, I remember getting excited to see this band or to see this singer. Okay. So I'm going to just tap into my lived experience here. Because before 1846, Pisces was ruled by Jupiter since antiquity. So long time. Um, and as we know, Jupiter is all about luck and expansion. So we get to feel these old experiences now. And that helps us feel inspired or expands our awareness around that experience that we had, or that person that we had this interaction with, or this event that happened. Okay. So to me, it feels expansive or good, right? Like all the magical dreaminess that Pisces offers us um, with that expansion opportunity of staying curious so we can be inspired to continue to do what we need to do. That is to our highest benefit. And of course, when we do stuff to our highest benefit, it's the highest benefit to all those around us. Okay. So we're going to align with that. All right. Let's get into the Akashic messages for this lunar eclipse, the first image I got was a round orb, which to me looked like the moon, but it was the whole thing. Okay, not just like seeing it how we see it in the sky. And it was a shutter around it. And it would like, so if it's an orb, it was like closing and opening like that. The meaning, we must use discretion to maintain our boundaries. So important. I had a friend reach out to me just this morning and be like, wait a minute, I listened to another podcast and she's talking about, kind of holding things close to the cuff, and not necessarily putting everything out there. And there's something to be said in that. It's not saying to not be vulnerable, right? Or not share you, but to be discreet about where you do it. Maybe Facebook isn't the place, or maybe TikTok's not the place, right? Uh, Maybe trying to get all the likes isn't actually what it's all about. That's what I'm getting from this image, and being discreet to maintain our boundaries, because even if you're a public figure, right? Or a public persona, or you have something where you perform, but then you go home, there's a certain way you act, and it's not like it's not you, but it's a part of you, and you're multifaceted. So you're not going to be that person that's on stage at home, right? You're not going to be that person that's giving that talk at home necessarily. I mean, obviously you have your same morals and your ethics, but there's many sides to you, and that's okay. And not everybody can handle every side of another person. And we see that a lot with the, you know, people being mean on social media, right? Um, they can just hide behind the screen and it's no big deal. So another message that came through, or meaning that came through from that image, is we get to choose when to show our shadow side and when to hold it close. It is our choice. We are in control of ourselves. Okay, so there's a sense of control too. That it's not only up to the deletes. By the way, I call the elites the deletes. I think I got that from the Maverick Approach. If you guys don't watch that podcast, I highly recommend it. They're really good. If you enjoy things, they get into some spiritual stuff, but they're into a lot of what's going on now. But they call it the elites the deletes, and I'm like, okay, I'm taking that. That's a good one. Because I think they should all be deleted. I mean, or at least not, such a huge gap between us all. Another thing, meaning that came through to that image, is we've been dictated to when to express ourselves and how. This is weird, right? You have to express yourself this way in order to get this many followers, in order to have a business. Really? Uh, I mean, not to say it doesn't work, but at what cost? Is there a cost that has come through doing that? Okay, so that's just something to step back and hang with. I think we're seeing a lot of people do things a little differently. I know I told you guys I've been doing things a little differently. I will not be on social media, but I'm not going to rely on it. Of course, it was great to have social media during the fires, um, to see who needed what and get support, because it's scary. If you've ever been uh, that close, I was really close to the flames. It's really scary. And especially if you live in a dry climate that has a lot of wind, those embers can pick up and, light another fire real quick. Um, with that being told how to express and when, it also hits on uh, to not trust in ourselves and essentially our dreams, and to know what's best for ourselves. Like, we all have our limitations. We all have our ways we like to do things and things that are more comfortable, or hey, my strength lies over here or over there. I don't know if I can do it this way. And not being so, oh, I have to do it just like that. Um, it's so regimented and is not inclusive. And that's really important to keep in mind. But we have every right to and must, in order to take our power back and to keep it. Okay. So we definitely need to come into what's going to be best for ourselves, right? And not have it dictated. This is how you have to do it. We really need to get away from that. I've seen more and more posts from people going, I don't know what's going on. This way I've been doing stuff, it's not it's not getting the results maybe I once did get or I would like. And we're being asked to do things differently on every level. Okay, this is not just putting your phone down and not scrolling as much, which is something we should all do, myself included. We've gotten so used to it, but definitely being able to step back and give ourselves that space and exploring our dreams in all the, and not just in the sleeping realm, but in the waking realm. And that's really what this is about here, right? With this lunar eclipse. The second image I received was a bright full moon, and it had a man's face in it, and with a thoughtful expression like, and it brought me back to those images of like the man in the moon, and oh, there's a man in the moon, and that's kind of who you would like kind of look up and see. I remember that. And I don't remember exactly how old I was, 9, 10 maybe, that I recall it, right? Not to say I didn't see it before that, but it came into my consciousness. But man on the moon, what's real? That's what I wrote after that image came. We were told there's this man on the moon, and this man directs our dreams cycles, and this was done on purpose. So the fact that if you remember that, it was done on purpose. It wasn't something that was like, oh, let's just give it a man's face and we'll talk about that, or look at the moon and think about that. It was done on purpose. Like, no, it's going to be a man. Yeah. And we're kind of looking up to this man. Weird. Everything we've experienced in this lifetime has been under direction of the deletes, including this man in the moon narrative. They put ideas and directions in plain sight. Okay. So we comply. That's how this works. And that's how it's been able to be in existence and in our subconscious for this long. Okay. It is, in plain sight, and we're like, oh, okay, right? Like, you accept it. Think of just maybe things you've said, phrases we've gotten used to saying that sometimes I'm like, why am I saying that? You know, like even good morning. We think of words. Morning is, sadness in the English language. Yeah, it's spelled differently than the good morning. But again, it's good morning, good sadness. It's weird. I mean, I really kind of start to think about that. And I've heard friends say grand rising, and I have used good rising. Um, Starting to embrace that a little bit. I mean, it's hard when you're at work because people are used to saying good morning, you know, and it's not like it's terrible, but we do have to really think about what we're saying. Words are spells. Words are spells. So we really have to think about that. So with this lunar eclipse, we're eclipsing, right? We're gonna give us a clean slate. We're gonna face this, look this in the eye, and be like, no, these ideas right out of existence and forever. Okay, it's again important that this full moon is in Pisces, right? It's the end of the zodiac. So this is it. It's done. We're not heading back that way. We've done it. It didn't serve very many people at all. And we need to do something different. We need to think differently. I mean, the moon carries feminine energy, right? Um, Following the cycles of the moon, a woman's body goes through cycles every month. It's feminine, it's not masculine. So why the man's face? To control the narrative again. And I will be doing episodes on the deletes and these controlled narratives. Okay, so I'll break some more things down. I'm gathering lots of information because there's a lot out there. There is a lot out there. And I'm really weeding through, you know, I vet my sources when I do research, number one. And number two, then I also channel. So I channel and really see where something's coming through for the benefit of us all. So it's not just like somebody's agenda, a personal agenda. And after this image too, I wrote down, has there ever actually been men on the moon? Or is this a controlled image idea too? Again, I'm going to do whole episodes on these because it's things that have already been coming through my consciousness, and like, okay, I need to delve into this more because we just don't know. We don't know what we've been shown. I mean, before it was hard to look into things, and then now we've got AI and all of that situation. You guys know how I feel about all that. So themes from these messages, pay close attention to your dreams and ask all the questions, y'all. Ask all the questions. Any question that comes up, ask it. Even if it seems weird or you're not even sure why that question came up, write it down. Write it down because you'll probably get an answer in dream time. Because so much is coming through and it's coming through fast. How does setting and keeping clear boundaries and taking control make you feel? Okay, so we're going to get into how does that make us feel? And write all of that down, right? This eclipse is about all the feels. So allow yourself this space to express it all, right? Feel it all. we are getting a deep emotional reset around all of this, boundaries and what's real, what we've been told, right? What we've taken on to think of as truth. But then when we step back, we're like, wait a minute, that's not fitting. Something's not, something's not fitting together here. Um, we also get to release any old karma contracts we've been holding on to, to help with ease of this new path. So we let go of those contracts. We become aware of the pattern, and then we can let go of a contract, right? Or spell or curse that's been in our energetic field. Um, that can help ease with moving forward. Okay, so that's why we go ahead and get rid of the contract. Okay, or get rid of the curse or the spell. We ask for a transmutation. So it can be something more useful now because we don't need it anymore. Okay, there was a time we did, but we're okay now. So let's keep coming together, right? I mean, I want us to keep coming together. I have been thinking about more and more ways to get people together. And, before it was like, I'm just going to use myself again as an example. But when I do my sound journeys, my sound transmissions, before I really wanted to pack a room, right? And I would go to a space that was larger or bigger, and, I could fit 10 plus people in it. But now it's more like, no, I want those to come that really want to come, that feel drawn to this. And it's intimate and it's intentional. And not that it wasn't intentional before, or big cannot be intentional. I mean, hello. Um, I love being at large gatherings, with music and sound. Again, it's one of my happy places. For someone who is overstimulated by a lot in the world, sound and light are two things that can be really overstimulating for me. When I'm at a show, I'm at peace, and it can be loud music or softer music. But I love it. I absolutely love it. So, more shows on my horizon. And so, I am going to choose a card from Dr. Emoto's deck, the Water Crystal Oracle, for us because this lunar eclipse is in Pisces. So let's go ahead and get into more water messages that we could take moving forward, with the energies that we're going to get of, really eclipsing anything that's not serving us in life right now. Just letting it all culminate. I heard culminate. Oh, and look at the card we got, honesty, and it's a power card. Okay, so stepping into your power. And here's the image when he said the word honesty. This is the image of that water crystallizing. Gorgeous. Six-sided with another in the middle. So we got a little mirror effect too in there. How are you stepping into your power? Having it be a power card. Again, I'm going to post that card on my Facebook, in my Substack. So on Facebook, I've got the Infinite Dance Facebook page. Please come over there. It's public now. Woohoo! So anybody can join. And Ancient Bodyworks on Facebook too, and Instagram. And Substack, I am under my name. So Carrie Errata, kind of all over. That's another thing. We kind of getting things a little bit more honed in here in the near future. Boy, it's all a lot, isn't it? All the pieces, parts. I feel like I could take a week and just work on all of this, and I'm not sure I would get to every little part of it. But, we can keep trying. So definitely come over there. If you haven't been on Substack, highly recommend. Great articles, great interaction with people. Again, if you're listening to this on YouTube, thank you for being here. If you're not, please come over to YouTube and like the channel. It's the Infinite Dance 8765. And I'm linking that here, and I'll link it in other platforms too. But it's really, really nice to have a community of people where we can talk about things and hold space for each other and listen, right? And share and have it be harmonious and not mean or antagonizing. So I've really been enjoying that on Substack. So, and YouTube, actually, I've been involved in a couple of forums. So, wishing you guys a super happy lunar eclipse and full moon in Pisces, and continue to peel back the layers of your multifaceted being, and continue to ask yourselves and each other, may I have this dance? Thanks again for being here. I appreciate and love all of you. Have a really, really wonderful day or evening.